Yeah, no, I'm really interested in it. I was not expecting this for whatever reason, but that's good so far.
Okay, so I didn't want to watch it because I thought I was going to get really mad.
No spoilers, you guys.
I mean,
the first one, you know how it ends, kind of.
Well, you kind of know.
But is the second
Isn't
one
he
like
in
more,
jail?
Does more happen or something?
Well, it's like continuing the story.
Oh, okay. So it's worth it?
I like it.
Yeah,
a lot.
I really like it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what, like, if you, like, getting mad about a wrongful conviction. Is that what you mean?
I don't know why. That just really makes
Well,
me
yeah,
mad
I mean,
the
it's
whole
fucked
thing.
up. Like,
Yeah, it is.
it's
It's like one of the worst things.
Even without like this whole thing, like even if you just look at Stephen Avery, 18 years in prison for rape
yeah.
and everything, like he didn't do that a hair.
But did he do it?
No, they
Well,
found
not the original one for sure. They
I don't know
that.
what anything
It
you
was
guys are
18
talking
Oh, yeah,
about.
watched-
I watched the first episode of the first one, and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Really?
Just
Yeah, you're out of
2
here.
minutes. Get out of here.
It's just, I don't know. It's also like something you can watch to see like how messed up things are.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
why I stopped watching it, because I already...
Well, it's the thing that's the most bumming out about it is like how you realize how corrupt law enforcement can be and
Yeah.
everything, and that's what's scary.
Especially in like small towns and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Small tiz-hounds is what I call
But if
them.
you don't watch that, you should watch Evil Genius.
Oh, I'm gonna start that. That's on my list.
It's only 4 episodes, I think. It's really
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
We're watching The
All right,
Haunting Hill
guys,
or
Jesus
whatever.
Christ, nobody cares about this stuff, okay? Jesus.
Let's do the actual thing.
Yeah.
It's Thunderheads with Brandon Soul, Rob Larson, Justin Wright, and the dark and stormy Jason Lewis.
Like many people, I do some of my best thinking in the shower. By the way, Jacob Mann's sitting in for Justin Wright today. Happy birthday, Jacob.
Yeah,
It's your
happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you.
No, I was
Thank
going
you,
to
guys.
applaud, but now I'm...
How old are you?
28.
Ooh,
28 years old.
young
Big
28.
I know.
Yeah, you're the youngest guy here.
Yeah.
Is that younger or
looking up
older
to
than Justin?
I think he's... I just assume he's older than Justin.
I think
'cause-
Justin's like 26 or 7.
Yeah, I think he's 27, I think. He's probably watching and will be sure to tell us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To
he'll
the
correct
day.
us.
27, 82 days. Yeah.
I love it.
So anyways, I do some of my best thinking in the shower.
Oh, good. I was hoping this would
Yeah,
come back around.
I'm going to keep going with this. So I'm in the shower today thinking how I want to kick off this show. Because we are in a tough spot here. Thunder start 0-3. Not a fun position. Not something we expected. It's hard to do our show when the Thunder start 0-3. We're a fun show. We try to be fun. It's hard to spin an 0-3 start to be fun, and it's our duty to lighten the mood and for depressed fans out there. And, of course, we're still going to hit on the must-be-talked-about topics, everything like that, but we're going to have fun while doing it because we owe that to everyone. But we got to get back to the depressed fan part, and because Lord knows there's thousands of you, including, I'm sure, some people sitting right here at this table. But I may have something that could help. 2 things, actually. Number 1,
Ooh.
this could help you. The Rockets have started 1-2.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony is shooting 32.1% from the field.
While being a great guy.
Yeah, and 20% from 3. He's been real bad. Real bad, folks.
Super.
And
not
number
good.
2, and this should really make you feel better. At least you didn't get scared money don't make none tattooed on your body.
That's true.
I do feel better about that.
And with that, I'm referring to myself. You know, I get this tattoo it's kind of exciting that when I got it, I was kind of like, oh, this is cool. Of course, I'm excited that Paul George returns. Never did I imagine this team was going to start 0-3 and like, oh my God, turns out no money makes none or something. Or something.
Wait, hold on. Didn't I thought you got a tattoo?
I did, but I didn't get the acronym though.
Yeah, you didn't
so
get
I can just like go out of this liking Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightning bolts.
Exactly.
not
He can
Thunderbolts.
spin it anyway. He really likes Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Gatorade
Or something.
Blue kind.
Mine has scared money don't make none on me forever.
Yeah.
Unless I make it into some weird looking snake. Ooh. So I just want to share that with you guys. Hopefully to make you feel better right off the jump of this thing. Hopefully you're watching live on YouTube or Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch too. We've been doing that for a couple episodes now. So if you are a Twitch user, go follow us at OKC Thunderheads on Twitch because we're going to continue doing it. We're over on Periscope too. And of course YouTube. So subscribe there. and click the little bell. Get notified every single time we go live.
Yeah.
You can get in touch with the show on Twitter at OKC Thunderheads. Jacob's over at Jacob is man. And you can find us at any social medias at OKC Thunderheads. You can check out OKC Thunderheads, not at OKCThunderheads.com, just OKCThunderheads.com for all your Thunder needs. We actually have shirts being printed.
Yeah, we do.
Very shortly.
I'm very excited about them.
We actually have some outstanding debts to pay, some listeners that have won some prizes that we're kind of waiting for these shirts to get printed so we can send them their prizes. So just if you're listening and you're waiting for your shirts, they are coming soon.
Eventually.
Right. And, if you want one, be on the lookout. Because if you do buy one, we'd love you to buy one because they really do help out the show and everything we do around here. And we're going to put that money right back into this thing. And we're just going to keep going.
You're damn right.
True Facts by
All
Brandon
right.
Soul.
So let's get this thing going. What do you say?
I like it.
I like it.
Thunder 0-3, fellas. Why? Boom. There it is. There's the opener.
Suck.
What's the biggest reason here? I mean, everyone, needs somewhere to point. If you look at our mentions, Billy Donovan, Terrance Ferguson, what's going on, What is it? Is it really as simple as just pointing the finger at Billy Donovan, or is that just a scapegoat at this point? What's going on? Is this something? Do we need to be worried? Is there something on the panic scale? I'm like, where are we on the panic scale right now?
Well, the bad thing is that the offense is really bad, and then also the defense is really bad.
Defense is 16th in the league right now.
Not what we expected coming into this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you give up 131 to the Kings, or just 130?
131.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not what you want.
Which, I mean, I guess it is a fair point to say, hey, scoring is up across the entire
Yeah,
league.
it is.
Pretty exponentially.
Unless you're the Thunder.
Or exponentious, as Michael Cage would say.
Wow.
I think he said
Is
that.
a
I
word
think he
to
made
use?
that word up the other night
that's not real
on the
stuff.
broadcast. But yeah, so offense has been way up. So I guess that's actually a good point, Jason. What scares you more? The defense, once again, being lackluster without Andre Robertson and not turning a corner. We're 3 games in. Again, like we talked about last part. We have to say it before everything we say. But is that more worrisome, the defense, or is it, God, this offense has yet to really... I mean, they look pretty good when Russ got back, right? They look a lot better. They didn't make shots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's more worrisome to you, defense or offense?
The part for me is that we can't get both of them together. Like, either, while Russ was out, the offense was really bad, and they played pretty good defense. But whenever he came back, the offense was better, and then the defense was just totally bad the entire time that the Kings game was going. Like, the defense was, you could just tell from the very beginning, it was just not going to happen, especially defensively. Like, they gave up 34 points in 3 of the 4 quarters. That's so bad.
Yeah.
Bad indeed. I mean, and when you give a young team like the Kings confidence right out the gate, and they're hitting 3 after 3, that's not good. Like, I mean, these are NBA players still, and they might be a bad team, but they are NBA players, and you give them that confidence, they're going to keep firing, man, and they made them pay.
Yeah. I feel like the Kings and the Clippers both kind of overproduced. But I don't know. I mean, maybe that's like going to be the trend now across the league, is like everybody's going to like hit more and shoot more. And
the Kings are averaging 125.7 points so far this season.
Which I guess we should note, they put up a ton of points on Utah. It was on their home floor, the Kings' home floor, but I guess
Still,
They also gave up
a very good defensive team.
They also gave up a ton of points to them and whoever else they played.
True.
I can't remember. But
yeah, so I guess that leads us back to the original question: offense or defense? Which is scary, because to me, the offense hasn't really been doing the defense any favors, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're missing 3 after 3, like how many threes did the Thunder
39.
39 threes.
They missed 30 of them.
I actually right
30.
So they go 9 for 39. I actually have a stat on this. They've taken the 8th most threes in the league, and they've made the 25th most.
That is not good.
Number one, let's start here. I mean, should this team be taking that many threes? I know they're trying to be forward thinking. They're trying to adapt to the new NBA, the trend of the NBA. Should they be doing this, or are they going overboard, or is this something that maybe is not going to continue? It's just kind of happenstance that three games.
I mean, to me, it seems basically like teams are saying, "Hey, you guys can go ahead and shoot," and then we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shoot." Oh fuck! None of them went in.
Yeah. What? Why?
All right. Well,
why
okay.
I don't mind.
We're gonna keep doing it though.
I don't mind it, honestly. I got to see them continue to miss them. They're taking good. The difference between this season and last season is that this season they are getting really good looks, and they're not doing this dumb. They're not doing the step back twos, the long fadeaway jumpers over 2 people. Like they're shooting wide open shots. The offense, if you you took every part away from the shooting, like if you just looked at everything except for the ball going into the basket, the offense looks amazing. I mean, it's moving around, they're making passes, they're not taking contested shots, but they're just not hitting. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's where like it's hard to figure out. Obviously you're 3 games in, so it's hard to really figure out how worried you need to be, but they are last in 3-point percentage.
Yeah.
And coming into the season, it was a glaring weakness on the team was the shooting, right?
Yeah.
And now it's showing itself to be, oh my God, not only did everyone think it was going to be the weakness, holy hell, is it the weakness of this team?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are NBA players. You know they can make these shots in practice. Like Patrick Patterson is not shooting the ball well, but you got to think that his percentage will only go up, right? He's a career 38-ish percent.
Should.
Right. So some of these guys, Paul George should shoot the ball better. Alex Abrina should shoot the ball better than he has been. But I mean, I don't know. It still feels worrisome to come out of the gates like this.
My thing with all of this is like all of the things that we harped on last season that were bad. There's not a ton of ball movement or player off the ball movement. Like pretty much every action we run is like Steven Adams screening for one guy, and then if that doesn't work, they pass it out and try it again. And it's just like that's still happening. People are just letting people run past them defensively, and then free throws are still a problem. And it was like all of these things that we were like, oh, we're past all that now. Like it's gonna be fine.
Got to stat on that too. 3rd most free throw attempts in the entire league. The Thunder.
That's what you'd want
2nd fewest makes.
if you made them.
So it's a problem that persists. Russ goes 5 for 11 last night. That's
That's
Russ,
really bad.
in a game so Russ goes 13 for 23 from the field. Paul George goes 10 for 18, and you lose to the Kings by 11 on your home court. Yeah. Those two combined for 23 of 41 from the field. A really good shooting percentage. Your best 2 players, and you lose by 11 to the Kings.
Yeah.
Now I know Russ goes 5 for 11 from the line, and that was the original point. That's worrisome.
Yeah.
I mean, right? He had a huge down year last year. You think that's something he would have worked all offseason on correcting. It didn't. I mean, I know it's one game. It's one game, but 5 for 11.
Yeah, it's not great.
Right?
Yeah, and 1 for 6 from 3. Just to pop.
Yeah,
But
he started firing up late again.
Yeah,
kind of how he
obviously.
does. But
I still think, for me, it comes back to like what Jacob was saying, that these shots were open looks.
so you need more. You need more games of them taking these open looks and missing before you're ready to say, "Wow, it's
I
just
think
not
so
happening."
because they had 62 uncontested field goal attempts in the game against the Kings,
Wow.
which is incredible. The Kings had 47, and the Kings made 3 more of those shots. They made 3 more of their 47 than the Thunder made of their 62.
Wow.
Like it's just the ball just didn't go in.
Yeah.
yeah,
What if we do just chalk that up? Like I get that the first 2 games happened, but what if we do chalk the game Sunday against the Kings up to a bad shooting night, and then we finally have Russ back. Let's give them a few days of practice,
right.
and maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was a bad shooting night. It looked good in that first quarter on offense when Russ was driving and dishing out. Like Patterson got a really good. He got good looks, and so to me, I think there's still the possibility that every team has an off night where they just don't shoot the ball well. You don't want it to come early in the season whenever you're supposed to be as fresh as you can be and sort of playing well from what you did in the off season. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe they just had a bad night. It's the first home game. I don't know. I kind of do want to see it at least a little bit more where they get open shots like they did and they just don't make them.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 games is a very tiny sample size. If we were anywhere else in the season and they dropped 3 games in a row, we'd be like, yeah, that sucks. But
and I hate to harp on this, but my counter to it would be in the preseason they didn't shoot the ball any better.
Yeah.
They really didn't shoot the ball any better in the preseason.
I think Russ changes that.
I do too.
I agree. You're right. He totally does. But they're still NBA players, right?
Yeah.
And so they still didn't shoot the ball well, and that's the whole point. You're right. Russ definitely changes that. You've seen these charts over the past few years of the effective field goal percentage of the players on the Thunder when Russ is on the court versus when he's off, and it's just astronomically different between when Russ is on versus off.
And that's like, to me, that's why I kind of go back to the question you were initially asking is what scares you more is the defense for me is because I'm just watching people fly past our defenders and then like, why? Like, there's nobody trying, like, it's almost like they're just waiting for someone to help.
I do wonder if that's by design to a certain extent.
Some of it maybe.
Because I think they try to funnel people to the middle.
Yeah.
Because the 3-point shooting is so drastically up, and it's such a weapon now.
Yeah.
And when you're the Thunder, you know that threes are more than twos. Maybe you know. I say that maybe you know that the other team's going to hit more threes than you, but you don't know that if you're taking 39 of them.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, then you're banking on hitting a bunch of them.
So you just plan
And-
on Adams/Noel, like
Grant,
you
yeah.
lean on those guys, and then you try to just keep them from getting good shots. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
That's kind of what I was thinking because, I mean, I think they were talking to Paul George after the Warriors game, and he said, yeah, I mean, it was kind of our game plan. We're going to take run them off 3-point line and make them finish over length in the paint.
Yeah, and it makes sense, but also they're like these teams so far have just been hitting incredible shots, and everything their shooting is going in, which doesn't help.
Yeah,
figuring out
Go ahead.
the fault.
No, you go ahead.
I like to point out too, like we don't really the same way that we don't know about the Thunder 3 games in. We don't really know much about the Clippers or Sacramento. I know that they should be bad. They were bad last season, but I mean Fox is for real. He looks like he's made steps. He looked good in the preseason, and I don't know. I just feel
You trying to say the Kings are good?
I'm not trying to say they're good, but I don't know that they're like what the
might not
Hawks
be as-
will be this year.
They're
I
better-
think the Hawks will be this year.
On offense, like I don't know, you haven't seen anything that makes you think that the Kings won't do that to a lot of teams.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So
Like
mean, they're
they're
hitting
not
everything.
they're not just like a run over team like they have been in the past, maybe. So
Yeah, I mean, they traded for Ben McLemore, and he only played 3 minutes, so at least they're not forced to play
They
Ben
got him
McLemore,
back.
right? I mean, that shows that they have talent, but you saw the way Shumpert goes off in the first quarter. That's not
that's pretty
super
that's-
was he at 1 point
Yeah,
below
you
his
don't
career high?
I mean, maybe
God
Shumpert
damn it! Why does this always happen to us?
maybe Shumpert got healthy over the offseason and got his game back, and maybe he's feeling good. I don't know. I don't even know how he performed.
I forgot that he was even still in the league until last night. I was like, oh shit.
Well, you didn't forget last night because he went off.
He
I mean,
reminded me.
And is that 2 of the 3 games that you've had someone go off? Gallinari was going off in the Clippers game.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the worry here is that I know because if you're a Thunder fan here, the Thunder have won 1 game of their last 8
Yeah.
And it's been so long.
meaningful games.
Yeah.
You've won 1. And you haven't played real well in those 8 games. Now I know it's a different team and you're
You're making me sad.
rolling over year to year, but you just want to see something encouraging. So what is that's encouraging? Like, what's the most encouraging? That they are getting those good looks? Is that the most encouraging thing?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to feel, to me, it's hard to feel super encouraged by that when you just don't have the guys to knock down those looks.
See, for me, I'd rather them miss the open looks than try to shoot the contested BS.
Did you get him?
I don't know.
Did you get it?
That was close.
As a fly.
I just-
Or something. Nat? Okay.
How many possessions
Tinkle?
last season were you just like, would you move the ball, please? Like, just
Yeah.
pass it to one extra guy. Make that your goal this possession is you just pass it to one more guy. And we just seeing it move around the arc is so satisfying. It's just then it ends in total sadness
Yeah.
because then it doesn't come in. I'll
I
tell you
get
what
that.
I'm excited about is Noel. Dude,
Yeah.
that
that's a
guy
bright spot.
defensively is doing what the Thunder desperately needed him to do or a big to do off of the bench or in certain lineups last season. He's defensively stopping things and he looks good doing it. And he's a guy that the team that the Thunder plays on a night in and night out basis, he's a guy that they're going to look at and say, well, do we want to attack him? Like, and were you doing that with Patterson?
Also having Grant right
I don't
beside
know.
him. It's a little
well,
scary.
right, and that's
Man,
what I'm
that's a
saying.
scary duo.
You have a really incredible duo there. And I think Patterson will improve too, but I just saying
He's been real
ultimately-
bad.
Yeah, he has.
Guy's been real bad.
We were a little
Yeah.
off there.
He's been my most improved.
I wasn't off. I still question that. Like in the offseason, like I was wondering, like what if that is just who Patterson is?
Right.
What if it's just not? I don't want to say it's not the right fit because
What
it
if he's just
seems-
not good?
Yeah, but what if he
It's
is just
possible.
not?
He just
Yeah.
downgraded.
It's possible.
Because he was serviceable coming in. You think that maybe that's why they were.
I don't
out
know.
to
Been
let
watching
him
too many
go.
movies, maybe.
But the other thing is, like you talked about Noel, and to me, that's a huge.
I mean,
That's maybe the brightest spot for the Thunder
Yeah.
so far was
Yeah.
how good he has been because of how bad that position was backing up Adams
yeah.
previously. And so, but again, he only plays 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Adams plays almost 34. And so that's still like I hate doing it, but I do. I can't help but question Billy. Like that's the one. Like Billy's the one that it's like it's obviously the easiest one because you're going to get for the most part especially with stars in this league, you're going to get rid of the coach before you can get rid of the players. And
We're
so
talking
it's
about
just
firing him.
it's easier to get rid of Billy, and so but I do. It's getting harder to defend Billy.
Yeah, it is.
whenever,
It is.
As each game goes on, because I keep hoping. Hoping.
Sometimes you got a opening.
It's
Like
opening,
now that
yeah.
Russ is back, there's really no more scapegoat. Like
Yeah.
there it was, well, we don't have our best player
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
court, and now it's like, well, what are you gonna? Now we don't have Robertson, and so that's
Yeah.
why we can't win.
Yeah,
again.
the hard thing with that though is I don't think you can be both encouraged by the ball movement offensively and the looks that the Thunder are getting, and then also be mad at Billy Donovan because they're not going in. You know, like so I feel like it's one or the other. So maybe like you just.
But I still don't think the ball movement is there. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's-
better, but you're just increasing from something that was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
No, that's
still
true.
not moving the ball enough.
Right, and
Yeah,
there's-
your
I
ball
don't
movement's
feel like
probably
they're-
going to improve no matter what once you get Melo gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But to me, I'm that's my point earlier was that I don't feel like there's actual movement or actions happening. There's not like
Nothing creative.
there's nothing cool going on. Like you watch other teams and you're like, oh, that looks like what basketball should look like, and then you watch us and you're like, one screen and then that's the possession.
Yeah.
All
Not
right.
only do you get rid of Melo, but you add Schroeder. Like it's just
Yeah.
going to get the ball's going to move more when it's not like Raymond Felton out there and as well. And so
Speaking of Schroeder, I mean, he's really struggling so far this
Yeah.
year. He played his best game against the Warriors in the game that he started.
Yeah.
That's not helping things. You know,
Yeah.
I think he's shooting 28%.
I think he just needs to stop shooting. I actually kind of like
Just
what
completely?
he's doing.
Never
Yeah.
shoot
well,
again?
I mean, I just think he needs to. I think he needs to instead. What did he shoot? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
5 for 16 last
He's
night against
28%
the Kings.
on the year.
Last night, well, he only put up 5 threes. He was 2 of 5. I don't know. Like I know that I knew coming in that
8
he was
assists.
gonna,
8 assists off the bench.
Yeah, last night wasn't as bad as his game against the Clippers. He really,
Yeah, that was
really
rough.
struggled against the Clippers. I think that a lot of that'll settle down.
Yeah, it should. Once he
Um,
gets more comfortable, it for sure should.
Can I pose a question before we move on from Rob?
No, you cannot. Maybe,
Yes.
No. Oh, I'm just kidding.
So my question is,
Just
one
ask
of the
it.
things that I started to kind of think about, to Rob's point, you know, there is this mentality that when players leave Oklahoma City, all of a sudden they're incredible. They do all these things, blah, blah, blah. I don't think this necessarily applies to Sabonis or Oladipo, but do you think at some point Billy's willingness to make really super adventurous and sometimes seemingly advantageous like lineups, do you think it starts hurting player development? Do you think that guys like Ferguson or Diallo or even last season like you know, Dakari, or do you think this thing that like if at some point it seems like I'm gonna be off, I'm out, I'm off the court, I don't get to see it anymore, do you think that hinders development of guys like Abrinas and Ferguson, the guys that maybe if they were to get extended run for 5 or 6 games in a row, maybe all of a sudden you see it click for them and they become that player? Do you guys think that
I mean, I don't feel
that
like he's really been
factors?
doing that this.
well,
Yeah,
we
so-
only have
it's
a
only
3
3
games,
games.
right? But I'm
But-
just saying in
And
general.
he's been sticking to his guns kind of more than he
Sure.
ever has in the past.
But I mean, you look at like he just said, like Noel plays last night,
minutes.
13 minutes,
Well,
and he looked
the
really
difference
good.
with Noel is that he's a proven
Yeah,
solid player in this league. So I
Sure.
think he's going to go out there and not feel pressure to
Yeah.
be good. He's just going to go play
Sure.
his game, and that's where I do agree with Rob. It's like 34 minutes for Adams, 13 for Noel, and it was something that I was worried about coming into the year. Like, how are you going to find Noel
Right.
Yeah.
minutes when you have that quality of a player? Like, Steven Adams is a great player.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard to 34 minutes is too many for him in the long run. I'm
Yeah.
not saying in one game. No, it's
Yeah.
not. He's that good. He needs to play 34 minutes.
Yeah,
in
but
a
like
playoff game.
every night, maybe don't.
Yeah, but Noel's good enough. You don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
Like figure this out, and you try. Maybe Donovan goes into the season where he's like, "Hey, I got 5 game plans. This is my game plan for the first 5 games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reevaluate it. I don't know. Like, but right
Yeah, I can
now
see it.
things aren't changing. Like they're just Grant's been really disappointing. Patterson's been disappointing. It's been disappointing across the board so far for these guys. Rob, I know you got some takes on deck.
Ooh.
And we got a new segment that we
Oh,
need to.
We hopping into it?
Yeah, I think we should because I feel like we're on the precipice of really touching on the Terrance Ferguson stuff, and I know there's something that's just marinating over there next to the grill. So once you're ready, Jason, let's kind of get
Let's-
ready. Because
let's-
this segment, it's a new segment, and it takes some preparation. And hopefully you're watching on YouTube because it
Yeah,
will,
you really need to be watching for
it
this.
will make it good.
And here we go.
Woo-hoo! Welcome into Rob Sizzler, sizzling up some of the finest takes on this side of the mighty Mississippi. Now, let's send it over to your chef, Chef Rob, and see what's on the menu tonight. Take it away, Rob.
Oh my god! You know what's really hard to do? Put cowboy hats on with
Oh,
You gotta do this.
headphones.
you gotta have those
You gotta have
back
like this.
headphones.
This wasn't part of the test.
All
It should've
right.
been.
Love it.
It's just the trial run. We haven't perfected it yet.
Go ahead, partner.
All right. All right. Well, Brandon, we talked about Terrance Ferguson.
Yeah, what you got on the menu?
Hold on.
I
a second.
cannot get these to stay on my head.
Oh my god.
Oh, there we go.
Oh dang, is that the move?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. So you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Terrance Ferguson obviously struggling.
Yes.
I sound weird in my own ear.
No, you're good.
Obviously
Move.
struggling.
You sound like a head chef.
And so, I think that the case could be made that Ferguson needs to be back in the G League
Oh.
because I still think he needs to practice with the team. But one thing's for sure, he's not a starter in this league, especially not right now.
There we go.
Keep going, sorry. No, you're good, dude. It looks good. It looks
That's
good.
perfect.
Keep going.
He's not a starter in this league.
Yeah.
I don't even know that he's a rotational player at this point. Like, you disappear for stretches. Whenever you shoot the ball, it's not great either. Like, he finally shot the ball a little bit against the Kings, and he was so bad. I think it would do him service to go down. Maybe there's a little bit less pressure. Like, practice with the team and actually play with the blue.
So do you think that does more for his development, or does it do
Both.
or does it hurt?
His confidence.
Yeah, does it hurt his confidence too much that like he's just shot at that
What
point?
kind of confidence does he have?
Exactly.
Agreed.
I guess that's the point, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
because, yeah, I mean, they seem to be treating Terrance Ferguson like he's a baby a little bit. That's kind of how they treat him a little.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's going too far. And listen, I know like hot takes are flying out there in the Twitterverse, right? They are, and they're not even hot at this point. Terrance Ferguson has not been good.
Yeah.
So I agree, but people like he is 20.
Yes.
He's 20. He's shown
Yeah.
promise in very small windows, right? There's not been a lot of it, but he has shown some promise here and there. So you can't give up on him yet.
No, and I think that's the point, is to not give up on him. But
But to me, if you're gonna be Sam Presti, obviously you're not the coach of this team, but you're gonna come out and say scared money don't make none. We're going all out. We're bringing back Paul George. We're doing this. We're paying this crazy luxury tax bill,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna play Hamidou Diallo over Terrance Ferguson,
Right.
Even after these games, like who's better?
how about
just watch the
well,
game?
Not even that, but how about last night whenever Burton came in and was again a spark?
It
off
was
the
Yeah,
bench?
awesome.
it was.
So you're not. I don't think you can play him over Abrinas, Diallo, even Burton. I want to see what it is, and we who knows with Nader and TLC, like even sort of getting those extra minutes as well. Like I don't know, but what I do know is that Ferguson already looks scared. He looks
Yeah.
nervous when he's on the court, and
He's not assertive.
that's right,
he's-
partner.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
You
Tell you what,
goddamn
he-
right, boy.
He tell you what, he ain't being assertive. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what do you do? What do you do if you're Billy? What's the plan?
No, I don't think you can play him except in cleanup time minutes, and I really think it would be better for him to play in the G League and at least for a while, and
Maybe that's a way to build up his confidence.
Yeah.
it could be, yeah.
Because like maybe at first you get sit down to the D League or G League.
Get real bummed out.
Yeah, get bummed out, but then you're like, oh wow, I think I might be better than most of these guys.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then
I'm gonna
boom,
go cook 'em.
confidence up. Yeah.
How you guys feel about that take?
I
I
liked
think
it.
that's a good
That's
take.
sizzling.
Hot as hell.
Yeah, well done. Well done take. This
Yeah.
is a tasty take. So
Rob's Steakhouse.
so if you were so who needs to start at the 2 in your mind while Andre Robertson?
So I know that it would hurt the bench a little bit, but I would still go with Alex Abrinas.
Same.
There's if you tell me Diallo needs to start, I wouldn't argue too much. I just feel like it would be best to play Abrinas in that situation and still sort of give Diallo a little bit of time and Like, that bench is going to need somebody who's active and who is really trying really hard, who's going to move without the ball, and Diallo will do those things. I think you can still work him in on the bench.
I agree, but here's where I almost think that maybe it should be a Diallo is because, and maybe, this is my take to put it in there, to throw it in there, a little extra take. You come in tonight, you get a bonus take. In today's NBA, man, the way things are, the way everything's going towards the offense, the way refs are officiating, the way teams are just so good offensively, I think you need more than just Russ and Paul George. In the past, it's been like, oh, you can get by with just Russ and Paul George out there. They'll carry your team offensively. That's all you need. You don't want to waste your other offensive players and your other guys that provide spark and energy and athleticism. You don't want to waste those other guys.
Disregard that.
in the starting lineup. But now I think you need one more spark in that starting lineup. You're really missing a spark.
Yeah.
You have Russ, you have Adams. Adams is going to do what he does. He's not necessarily going to make any, I don't know, he's just solid, right?
Yeah.
Paul George is Paul George. He kind of is consistent in being Paul George, and that's sometimes inconsistent shooting the ball. Hamidou Diallo is a wild card.
Yeah.
He's a guy that will make people pay attention to him.
Yeah.
And so I kind of think you need that in the starting lineup. You don't need a Terrance Ferguson that's just going to stand out on the perimeter and just not do anything.
Yeah.
You need a guy that is going to be capable of doing something.
Well, and to me, Hami, makes me think of how, when Corey Brewer came in last year,
Yes.
he was always in the right spot.
Totally agree
And
with
that's
you.
something Hami does. He's
And he gave a
always
spark.
cutting or moving or doing something that puts him in the right position to get the ball or at least take some attention off the other guys. And
Can I add something to you?
me?
Yes. I
To-
think that.
Yep.
Well, to you personally. Hey,
For sure.
Jason, can I add something to you?
Goddamn sure.
If you move your hat just a little bit,
I
that's
can't.
what
It
I
doesn't
wanted to
fit.
add. That move.
Did you guys worry you were going to
My
put
head
the
is
wrong way?
gigantic, by the
I
way.
didn't know if there was a right
not
way.
There's
sure
a
if
tag
mine's
in the
on.
back that Jason informed us of.
I know all
I've been
about
wearing
cowboy
mine,
hats,
I've
yo.
been wearing mine backwards.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ferguson is playing like a player that has something to lose, and Diallo and
Burton?
are both coming in, and they are playing like their lives depend on it because they have nothing to lose.
It's a good way
There's
to put
no
it.
pressure.
It's true.
And Ferguson is playing like people are watching him, and he's playing into
Or like
his
there's
own fear, I feel.
two kids coming for his spot.
Yeah.
And with my point being, I think you need another spark in that starting lineup, another guy that can make something happen, whether it's defensively, offensively, in transition, whatever on the boards. I think Abrinas can be that guy too. He's a guy that can make shots, and I think you maybe more than you need another spark as far as athleticism goes. Maybe you need another shot maker. Maybe that's a thing that you actually need in the starting lineup.
Well, they need a lot more shot makers.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I do like is if you're going to start Diallo, that does kind of lend itself to more of what the team will be whenever Robertson comes back, because Alex is still going to be a big part of that second unit.
Yeah.
And kind of keep him there. I do like that part of it, but I think that they need to shoot the ball better. You need to get your better shooters more time. And I think the more time that you can get Abrinas, the better off you'll be.
And the more we're talking about this, the more that I feel comfortable with Abrinas there, because Abrinas has played against top tier talent in this league for 3 years now, 2.5 years or whatever. I guess we're 3 games in, 2 years and some change. Hamidou Diallo, it's a little scary throwing him out there into the fire against these really good players night in and night out.
Yeah. And I mean, he's a little jumpy defensively.
Right,
still,
he's not polished defensively, which
and
neither is
that's I think that's where Ferguson's kind of getting the nod is well, you can trust him defensively. That's the thing.
Can you?
I mean,
Can you trust him?
I think you can
I don't
trust
know
him
that I
more
trust
than
him.
more so than
I think you
More
can
than Diallo.
more so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's to me that's not enough. That's
Yeah,
not
right.
enough. You need to provide something. I can trust you defensively, meaning you're not going to foul out. Okay,
Yeah.
come on,
Like Paul
I
George.
give me something. Give me something that's gonna
golly.
jump off the screen. I think you need that in this starting lineup. Whether it's a shot maker, whether someone's gonna dominate. I don't know. Speaking of the boards though, the Thunder are way up on offensive rebounds again. They're killing the offensive
that going
glass.
for us.
That's
if that was what won games completely, if they've just said, well, you got more rebounds than them,
We'd be 3-0
Ass
right
kickers.
now.
we'd
Tell
be
you what, we'd be
so
leading the
good.
league.
Rob, you got any more takes?
All right, so I'm going to do one more here.
Okay, one more take.
So
juicy.
the Thunder have also struggled at the power forward position. I don't think, and it's 3 games, but I still feel like the power forward that will be, and I'm assuming the Thunder aren't going to go 0 for 82. The Thunder will make the playoffs. the power forward that will be starting
That's
then
a hot take in itself.
is not on this team currently.
Ooh.
Like I
All
don't
right.
feel like they have the piece that's needed
I like
at
it.
the 4 on the team right
I like
now.
it.
So you're saying there's going to be a trade?
I feel like they're probably going to. Presti's going to have to do something if they're serious. And I don't think that they have any. I don't think any team. I know Brandon has said the Celtics before. I don't think any team has any chance at all of beating the Warriors this year. And so I do think that there's probably a little bit of hesitation, but I think if they're serious and they think that they're true contenders, the starting power forward in the playoffs is not on this team currently.
It's got to get better.
Yeah.
I agree. So let's play off of that. Like, where does that? Who goes? What piece do you use out there? I mean, do you look in the buyout market maybe first? I guess you can't do that first. That usually comes after the trade deadline. But what do you? Who's trade bait here?
So for me,
And I know a little something about bait.
Hey,
let me go to my tackle box.
Well, you don't use live bait. You use that.
Yeah, I don't like touching worms, so I do.
not very cowboy-like of you.
Wow.
Well, I wasn't raised. In
He's
the
a
South.
diva cowboy.
So the obviously I think
From New York City?
the
He gets his salsa
New
from
York,
New York
City. I think the hope is that somehow there is still going to be value in Ferguson, as I just said he should be playing in the G League. Like maybe that
I
could
agree
be
with you.
potential there. There's not a lot that I think that the Thunder would be willing to get rid of to fill, because you're gonna basically hopefully Robertson comes back, he's healthy, everything is normal, but they still are going to want the insurance at shooting guard just because it's still a concern. With him out, the shooting guard is still a concern. I don't think you can get rid of hopeful depth in one position necessarily that you still aren't all set on to try and fill the need of another one.
I got some spice to add to that take.
Oh,
Is it too crazy to say that this team might really look to move Dennis Schroeder? Like, I know that it's something they're going to look to do, having 2 ball handlers on the court, but maybe he just doesn't. I don't know. If you can shore up another key position, getting like out of a trade for Schroeder, it might not be the worst idea.
I mean, I would say I don't see that happening unless it's just not working.
Yeah, I mean, my point is, I wouldn't say this if the rest of the bench wasn't so strengthened, but it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's where I think you can get away with, if you have to have Raymond Felton or maybe you play Paul George with the bench again.
Bruh,
But
you
you-
see that last year?
You have Nerlens Noel.
Didn't work out
you,
well,
ha-
partner.
you have another year, Jeremy
Zip
Grant.
tape.
with a
Bank.
couple, yeah.
Jeremy Grant should be a year better. Alex
Yeah.
Arena should be a year better. You have a deeper bench.
Shoulda,
Maybe
coulda, wouldas.
maybe he carries the biggest value. Like, who's to say the Knicks? I mean, most people. I was gonna say, who's to say the Knicks aren't like scratching out that 8 seed and they're like, we want to make the playoffs, and they need a point guard or whatever. I don't know.
And
like,
then they remember they're the Knicks, and they're like, never mind.
right? Hypothetical, probably a bad one, but that's just I don't know.
I mean, we've seen. Would they get something back from anybody? Not necessarily the Knicks. Are you getting a piece back at the point guard position? Because if not, and you're going with Raymond Felton
Too
off
scary.
that bench, that's
Yeah, I don't like it.
extremely
Well, see,
scary.
I think you would have to revert back to the staggering Russ and PG and having PG run the second unit and hope that he's got more experience and he's capable. I mean, it's a bank. You're banking on it, and it's a risk, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you can shore up that power forward position, if you can get a legit wing that you can play, that you can trust to play legit minutes and knock down shots and be a shot maker and play decent defense.
Why
That's
is Noel
such a-
not playing more right now?
I'd like to
Seriously,
know that.
why is he not playing
I'd
some
like
of the
to
four?
know.
Why
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
he not? Like, I don't understand.
I'd
What's
be
the
cool with it.
reasoning on why he's only playing 13 minutes? Why not an extra? Even just give me 4 minutes with him throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Give me 4 minutes throughout the game where you actually have Adams and Noel on the court together. Like, I
Yep.
just don't understand
It's
that.
coming soon, right? It's got to be.
It's got to be.
I don't know why it hasn't already happened. I thought it would happen.
I honestly-
immediately. Yeah.
They went small. I mean, they've yet to go big, but they went small.
Boys, as a sous chef in Rob's kitchen, I just want to ask y'all, would it be all right if I made a small dish? It's nothing exciting, but
Yeah, just.
I mean,
side
make it
dish.
quick. The
I wanna-
song's over.
it's quick. I'd like to offer kind of a a medium spice dish. It's nothing like what Rob would
Yeah, I
give
just
y'all.
want to taste it by now.
Well, here you go. I made 3 bite-sized portions. The Thunder win in a convincing manner against Boston on Thursday.
Jesus Christ. Are you out of your mind?
It's kind of thunderish, right? You
That's
lose
what-
to the
that's
bad
exactly-
teams, you
it's
beat the better
exactly
teams.
what-
It'd be cool.
Yep.
I'd be all for it. Because
They need a win. I mean, obviously, they need that win would be big. That win would be. It would inject a little life
Yeah.
into this team going forward and into the fan base. Like all these things we're hearing, the Ferguson stuff, the Billy Donovan stuff, all this stuff. I mean, that would disappear with one win against Boston on Thursday, would it not?
How many teams in the West don't have a win currently?
Just
2.
the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers and OKC. Lakers have only played 2 games. Thunder have played 3, but still, like, that's so bad. Like, the Lakers are punching people.
And what are the things? What is the thing
Why
that
are we
the
punching
Thunder?
people?
They do
Is that what
this
we
pretty consistently. They get up for good teams, and it's too early to know if that's a habit or that they carried over last season. You got some injuries, whatever. Russ missing 2 games, but I just think you come back Thursday. You have 3 full days. You have Abrinas healthy, and it's a good team that everyone expects you to win, to lose against, and you're 0-3 already. I think that is the most Oklahoma City Thunder thing in the world for them to come out and thump Boston on their home floor.
You're right. It is the most Thunder thing.
What will that line be at? What do you think?
I bet the Thunder are underdogs.
For sure.
well, yeah.
By which, God,
20 and a half.
I wouldn't have expected that before the season, though, because I didn't expect the Thunder to be 0-3. But I would say 2.5.
Really? See, I thought it would be a little bit higher. 2.5 doesn't.
They're at home. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to give the public a lot of points on
They
that.
just lost by 11 to the Kings, though.
But
It was
they
the
gotta-
Kings that they lost to. I don't know if you
But
saw
you
that.
also got to play the odds. As
Sacramento
in, like,
Kings?
they got to bounce back at
No,
some point
I
and play
agree.
well
I
at
think
some
so.
point.
I agree. I just.
One of my favorite things right now is that Jacob continues to wear the cowboy hat.
I'm not taking it
He
off. I
said,
think,
no, I'm into
But-
to
it.
be honest, I kind of like it.
One thing I do want to go back to is what if it was just a bad shooting night? Like, what if this team with Russ is going to be just fine? And, well, I think we still all expect them to be fine, right? Nobody's really panicking that much, all right? But what if it is? What if it was just a bad shooting night? They are clicking against the Celtics, and it's not getting up for the Celtics. It's just shots go in. They're getting open shots, and those shots just go in.
I'll tell you, I'll feel better.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that'll help.
Oh,
That'll
yeah,
help
feel better,
a
but-
ton.
The
Does
likelihood
that
of
mean
that
that
happening.
everything's fixed? I don't know.
I mean, it
Per se.
the
It would
shot,
help.
The shot distribution, like I feel like we basically have one game to go off of because Russell Westbrook is back for
He's
one game. So
Also a pretty big deal.
they took 39 threes. I don't think that this team probably should be taking that many threes because I
Agreed.
don't think that they can shoot well enough to take that many threes.
So what should they be doing though? Whenever they're wide open, 62 uncontested field goal attempts. They had
That's
a
rough.
bunch of those were from 3. Like, what do you
Yeah.
do?
What
at
do
that
you do?
point?
I know you got to shoot a lot of them, but
Make the damn
you got to
thing.
get creative in attacking the holes in the defense, attacking the lanes in the defense. Like when you're open, that means you have room to dribble too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, so
Yeah.
dribble in there and try to make you got size.
The
Like
problem-
you got length.
The problem with dribbling in there though is that's where everybody's at. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why you're open is because the paint is most likely going to be crowded.
Yeah.
And so
no,
it's,
for sure.
Presti has said it. Like, you can either add players, add shooters to this roster, which you're giving up something that somebody does well, so you're going to have to fill that need as well. Or guys can just start hitting shots.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels more so to me is the guys just have to hit shots.
But here's what's interesting is that, Presti said that. And, like, if you look at the way the NBA is today, and I read that stat earlier about the Thunder have shot the second most free throws in the league, and they're taking all these threes. They're taking a lot of threes. They're playing modern-day basketball.
Right.
They just don't have the roster to support that modern-day basketball.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like, so if you fill out this roster, I mean, I just wonder if things go bad this season and we have another disappointing season where the Thunder don't live up to expectations, how much of it falls back on Presti and the way that he builds this team? Obviously, the guy does a great job in some trades. Like, before they go down, I think he does a great job of improving this team on paper for the most part.
Yeah.
But when you look back, did he give Billy Donovan exactly what he wanted? Exactly what he needed for his style of offense? Maybe Billy Donovan's offense is actually starting to work, and they're getting the shots they want, free throws and threes, but they don't have the personnel to make it count.
Billy back.
We're good. I mean, coach of the year for getting through to these guys, right?
Yeah.
Can I just point out too, like, the thing about the Thunder is that their bread and butter is going to be eventually, I believe, defense. It's going to be rebounding. It's going to be getting into the paint. It's going to be their big presence inside with Noel and Adams. If you look at the stat line, something that I just like to point out for Thunder fans that are just losing their mind, I feel like we're all pretty even-keeled, but
You didn't see me the other day.
19 of 30 from the free throw line, right? And then 9 of 39. If the Thunder hit 5 more free throws and just 2 more three-pointers, that's the deficit.
That's
right
10
there.
points.
That's
They
math,
don't-
baby.
Well, okay, yeah, you're right.
They
You're
still
right.
lose by 1.
Wait, no, 5 more and then 2 free throws.
So
That's
what you're
11
saying
points.
is that they just
That's
need
the
to.
deficit.
They just need more
Yeah,
numbers.
no, Jacob's right on the
Son
math
of a-
there. It's okay. I mean,
So that's
may-
12.
maybe the official
4.
says the toe's on the line.
Right.
That's
And,
true.
and
That
I didn't.
What are
I
we, the
didn't-
Cleveland Browns going into overtime all the time? Come on.
My point is, we don't need them to shoot like a good shooting team. We just need them to shoot not like a grade school pickup basketball team.
No,
We need
I
them
agree.
to shoot 30, 32, 35 from 3. We need them to shoot 75% to 80% from the line. Something just not
They
Not
lost,
terrible.
23 and 63.
Yeah.
That is unbelievably bad.
They lost a lot of games from the free throw line last year.
They did.
But my favorite thing about that, though, is you're right. But that also, it changes.
That's my favorite thing.
The
about
math
it,
was
too.
good, solid.
I actually
But,
really like that too.
like, it changes the end game. Like, whenever you talk about shooting that bad from free throw, like, it changes the
Yeah.
end game so
Yeah,
much
You're right.
that it's like, it seems like it's so easy because it makes it easier on you later
Sure.
on whenever you're actually making those, and they're making it so much harder on
and
themselves.
to
you're right.
Jacob's point, yeah, you make 5 more free throws and maybe you're only down 3 instead of down 8.
And then
And
Russ
then,
can
and
hit
then
one of
there's
those
more
games.
pressure and the crowd's louder.
Yeah.
And you know, like there's huge factors there. They got to make these free throws.
Yeah.
That crowd last night was begging them to.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as they got within 8 or something, it was like, okay, here we
It
go,
was
get a
ramping
stop,
up.
and they just
The
couldn't.
thing that scared me too is like, I think they pulled within 7 at one point, maybe even 6. They got close,
It was close.
and for a moment I was like, I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win this game. This is a game that the Thunder win. Russ is gonna take over, and they're not gonna be able to stop Russ, and defense will lock down. And then from that, like, nope, they
None of
really,
that-
they
none of that
really didn't
happened.
even get close, and that's actually what kind of scared me.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a stop at all.
Could not get a stop.
Yeah, it was not great.
All right.
We got a bunch of questions we can get to, and I'm sure they're going to be just so
They're gonna be
pleasant.
real fun.
No, we do appreciate the questions, of course, and keep them coming on a weekly basis. You got them?
Let's do it.
Social media inquiries.
Just give me a second. I had to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Jason's got his hands full right now.
Yeah.
Hands full of. I don't. Yep.
Question.
Beans.
Questions. I hate beans. I don't
A
know.
handful of beans.
You
All
were
right.
taking them to the trash.
Always in Forever Art at Always in Forever Art. The starters played absolutely no defense. Call it what it is. The bench played great, high energy defense. Why can't our starters do the same? Robertson just shouldn't be this vital to stop the young Kings from scoring 131 points. I repeat, I'm repeating this. He didn't do this.
Oh.
131 points
Yeah.
by the Sacramento Kings.
No, it's a fair point. I mean, he's right. He's right. Honestly, so far in these 3 games, the bench has been a bigger difference than the starters have.
Yep.
And I'm not saying the bench is better at basketball than the starters. I'm saying when you match up lineups on the court, the bench has been the bigger plus. At least, they've looked better against the team they're playing against, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, and it goes back. I think the starting lineup needs a spark. They need another spark put in there, and I think that it's a Terrance Ferguson sized hole of a spark. That didn't make any sense.
Well, I'd like to note, too, that Patterson and Ferguson were 2 of the worst defensive players in the starters, and they both played less minutes than Grant, Schroeder, Diallo. So, I mean, it's not like the starters just came out and dominated, took minutes away from guys that could have come on and made an impact. Patterson only played 13 minutes. Ferguson played 19 minutes. That was 19 minutes too many. But
That is a little thing you can give Billy is like,
Yeah.
at least he's not just like
sure.
leaving Ferguson in there the whole time.
He did put him
Like,
in at the end of the game, though.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was like, what is
Like,
he doing
just
out
keep
here?
with that guy.
Ferguson was 1 of 7 in 19 minutes. I still think that. I mean, you're 1 of 5 one of 4, that's like, all right, let's chill out. Let's do something different.
Do we see more Burton going forward?
Man, he was worth a look in my opinion.
I think so. I don't see why you wouldn't. If every time he's on the floor, he does something really good. Like he
5
isn't
points.
afraid of getting a shot. He's not afraid of driving. He looked real damn good on that like nice little.
I saw a couple times on offense he didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
there
was
were
like-
there were a couple of those.
He was like scrunched up on the same side of the court as someone else, and
And
it was
they were,
like he
like,
didn't know
kinda
where to
moving
go.
him, yeah.
But
5 points, a block, and a rebound in 7 minutes.
and
is
made one of
pretty
the Thunder
serviceable.
threes.
Yeah.
So you're
he
gonna
did.
make. I don't know. To me, it's like how many of those guys can you actually make room for?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's
because
the tough
Abrinas
part.
went out after 5
True.
minutes.
That's a good point.
And so, like, how many? I don't know.
I mean I think
At
that's
what cost is Burton getting run? I guess would
Right.
be my only question.
No, I'm with you. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
I think it only comes with. I mean if they start to just be like Ferguson doesn't have it, but then you've got Diallo and Abrinas, and then how do you fit him in there? But
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll see a lot of run. But.
True. Next.
Anyhow, heart, the hashtag the Kiwi, heart, at wings to fly 4031. That was fun. What do you think we would look like running a 2-post offense? Noel and Adams at the same time. Rob, you might have
This
something
is
to
the
say
smartest
about this.
person. I don't know. who
Not
this
as our
person
main
is.
set, but as a change of looks periodically. They both can pass, great defensively, double high picks, unlimited options.
Yeah,
Dot.
And that's like
We talked about this. We talked about this on the Aftershock.
Oh
did
yeah.
we not? Yeah.
I am gonna
did.
beat this drum until
Mhm.
it happens. Like it has to because,
It's gonna happen.
like this person said,
Just keep beating it, Rob.
great defensively. Like they've in the games that they've lost, which is 3 of them. If you guys are keeping track.
3 out of how many?
One of 3 out of 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like against the Warriors, they struggled to rebound.
Yep.
Well, you have a guy who could really help you with that. Against the Kings, they struggled defensively. Like Noel in the paint is better than Adams is at protecting the rim. Like it's just not that's not something Adams does really well.
and then
That's
you put
That's
him
not what
and,
he's
him
going
and
to
Grant
do.
together, like we've mentioned a few times, and man, that's scary. In
Yeah.
there. That's really scary in there. I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't go.
I'd stay right
Nah,
out of there.
Too close to Halloween, yeah.
Rob, I'm right with you. Like this has to happen. You can't
Agreed.
have a roster that's made up the way this roster is, with the way it's weighted as far as your talent goes, and just play like every other team.
Yeah.
You need to try to create mismatches like every team is doing to you.
You guys trying to get a Russ, Schroeder, PG, Noel, Adams lineup out there?
Say that again. Russ, PG,
No,
Schroeder.
I
Noel
would
and
change.
Adams.
I would change Schroeder with Abrinas.
Yeah.
And then yes, I would
I like that.
definitely do
That's
that. You're
fun.
gonna have to surround those two with the best shooters that you have. So Paul George and Abrinas would need to be.
I
out
love
there.
that lineup.
I do
I
too.
love that lineup. I mean, because you have switchability in Noel. Like, we haven't really seen a lot of Noel having to switch onto guards, but
Yeah.
I'm ready to see it.
I
I'm
think
ready
he
to
can
see
do
what
it.
it looks like.
He's
He look-
athletic enough for
and
sure.
he's long enough.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have help. Like if he's out on the court with those guys. I mean, maybe even put in. Well, that's against what the question was. But I was saying instead of Adams, maybe you throw in Grant with that lineup, and you run that even more often because you have a lot of really solid help defense right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the question for me still is going to come back. If we only see like against the Warriors, where Noel played 12, and then against the Kings he played 13, why?
Yeah.
Why is it only why? For one, Adams came into the season where we didn't even know if he was going to play game 1. So why are you so intent on playing him 34 minutes or whatever a game?
Is Noel the 4th best player on this team right now?
I don't know that I would say best. I would say the one that you trust the most
Yeah.
would be
He's like the.
Well, Zach Lowe tweeted last night, who's the 4th most reliable player
Yeah.
on the Thunder right now.
It's real hard to choose.
And I said I think it's Noel right now. I really do.
I still give it to Abrinas because
Over
we weren't-
Noel?
Huh?
Yeah, I do.
No
How's that?
chance. There's no chance, man.
I do. I just because what
He's been
are
hit
we
in the
ta-
mouth the most.
Well, I think defensively he's made strides. I think he looks.
But we're talking about reliability. I mean, like,
but
see him get
we've had a
spun around
smaller
by,
sample size of Noel than we have of Abrinas, and I think Abrinas.
I
can
think
hit them.
that's the point, though. Like,
I would put. Well, yeah, but for me, I like what I've seen from Abrinas so far, and I like what I've seen from Noel as well. But I still think that Abrinas, I have Abrinas picked for me to be the most improved on this roster.
I don't like. I don't think it's right, but the main reason is because when Abrinas is out there, he needs to hit threes, and he's shooting
That's true.
28.6% from 3.
You're wrong.
Like,
Here's why.
I just think I do think that it is Noel and it's gonna baffle me until it
It's a
changes.
good-
I mean, you
it's
could
a
say
good-
Schroeder too, but Schroeder hasn't been reliable to this point.
Yeah,
He
like,
was-
like
if-
actual production.
and he's sort of fallen off, and I think that it's going to be a little uncomfortable for him because he was a starter, and now he's going to have to, go
thing-
back a little bit, and that's going to be a little bit difficult.
One thing I like about Schroeder is so far, he's not trying to be like, he's not trying to show the world how good he is.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of being overly passive sometimes when he was in there with Russ last night, where it was like, hey man, don't be afraid to attack. Like,
Yeah.
That's what you're out here to do. That's what's gonna put pressure on the defense, and he kind of wasn't doing that.
So who should be the fourth most reliable?
Schroeder.
It should be absolutely. It should be Schroeder. Schroeder should be the third. Honestly, I mean, he should be. I think.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen though. Adams
Well,
is just
I'm
so
saying,
solid.
I'm saying by reputation, if he comes in, he's your sixth man, and what Adams is not necessarily this flashy guy that's gonna,
I
he'll
think
get a
that's what
double
puts
double.
him in at the fourth.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So for me, by reputation, Schroeder has the opportunity and in my opinion should come in and just absolutely feast. Realistically, yeah, I think it's a good argument between Schroeder, Abrinas, and Adams for different reasons for each of them. So I guess we'll just have to kind of see.
Next.
Michael Cage headphone skin at the Brody 2020. I'm coming to OKC from Australia and want to know the best places to eat.
All right.
I'll be here for 4 days from the 26th of November, so I want to try and take in the best of Oklahoma has to offer.
This is good.
Outback.
There's a Taco Bell out there.
We got a lot of Taco Bells,
big
actually.
fan of
Several.
Taco Bell
Love
right here.
'em.
We'll take you out
Yeah,
there.
we'll
probably be
I'll
there.
get a number
Outback.
10 with you.
You
We'll
send
probably
him
be
to
there.
Outback.
You send him
I
to
said, I said Outback, like we got some
No,
really
just
great
like
Australian food here.
No, if you're looking for like a steak, my favorite steakhouse in the city is the Ranch. They have the
Yep,
best
Ranch
steaks.
is great.
It's kind of like you'll walk in there and you're gonna be like, this is kind of weird
Yeah.
feeling. A lot of old people, a lot of old white people,
Cowboy folk.
but the food is really, really, really good. That's the best steak I've had in the city.
See, I haven't had that yet, but I really like Red Prime as a steakhouse. But
No,
Yeah.
me too.
It's probably
I
not
love
as good.
Red Prime. That's a good place to go.
You
if
shouldn't.
if
You
you're
shouldn't
coming
do
in.
that.
He's
Don't
he's
do
gonna
that.
be offended as
Yeah, don't do that.
What?
so offended. Wow.
No
Let's
way.
wait to hear. I thought it was solid.
It was,
Yeah,
it was
not-
good.
pretty good.
It's not
Also
bad.
offensive.
I just
Hold on,
got
Mac.
uncomfortable.
It's got a little bit like Steven Adams.
Yeah,
I think,
I
and
don't
it's a
know.
little more New Zealand.
Yeah, that's why he's gonna be pissed.
What's some other good things though? I mean,
Um,
like you could really get crazy and like try to go in some holes in the wall, like Aishin's out in Okarchi,
Yeah.
get
Aishin's
some
is
fried
good.
chicken.
Well,
like,
I feel like that would be a culture shock.
Yeah, that'd
be
like
crazy.
he's gonna be like, "Where are you going?"
yeah. Yeah, it would be something like that. I mean, there's so many Mexican restaurants. too.
Yeah.
Mexican food restaurants.
Ah.
Yeah, you gotta think. You gotta think.
Easy, bud.
If he's a foodie person, you can go to,
Empire Slice House is a staple.
Yeah, you gotta think
Like
regional.
pizza.
if you like foodie
Yeah.
food, like Ludovine, super good.
Ooh, yeah, if you're a foodie,
That's one of my favorite
Ludovine.
places.
Oh
and
my god,
I don't
that's
even
the
like
best.
crazy food, but I eat anything there. So
There
Yeah.
are a lot of really good burgers, SMBs, Garage, Hot
Nick's.
Daddy.
Nick's.
we talked
Ooh,
about
yeah,
them
tough.
recently.
He's gonna have to play this back and be like, "Wow, I'm there for 4 days."
You did tell him to grab a pin.
I mean, that's
I
3
did.
meals a day, so
Yeah.
12 restaurants.
Well, you can
You
maybe
get 4 meals a
yeah,
day.
You can maybe do
know,
4.
Sometimes.
Oh, Taco Bell, 4th meal. I'll go. I'm there.
Number 10. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get one.
There's a
about
lot of
that?
good spots, man. Just hop on Yelp when you get here. Just hop on Yelp, and it usually won't do you wrong. And if you want like a cool place to go chill, and you're 21, I'm assuming you are of age. I am a big fan of just the total vibe at the Jones Assembly. Like I
It
think
is-
it's just a
Jones is
really,
great, yeah.
really
Quite
cool
nice.
place.
They
Like,
got good food there too.
Yeah, the food's good. It's like kind of pretentious,
little
but
odd,
it's
sure.
really
good,
good.
though.
It's
very
really
good. All right. Caleb Smith at Caleb SM 909599731. He's got a 9095731 in his name. With Melo coming off the bench in Houston, should we be glad that we have Schroeder as our 6th man instead of Melo? Who, by the way, is a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yes.
100%.
absolutely.
I
It's
agree.
3 games in, man. You got.
What if Melo was averaging 18 points a game right now on 47% shooting?
I don't
don't
trust
care.
it. It's
Wouldn't
3
matter?
games in.
No, because he was here. Like I don't know that it really matters.
No, I just mean
No.
if he would have been the 6th.
No.
Like the question.
I know if he had been, but it didn't work when he was here. The fit wasn't right. The person, like what they have there is different.
It's funny how quickly we've
fine.
gotten here, though,
Yeah.
because of Grant and
It's real
Patterson just not playing well so far, and everyone's like, "Oh God, wait, we needed Melo?
No, we did.
Oh, no!
Whoever said that is completely
I don't
wrong.
know.
Ain't wrong.
Is that it? No notes. No notes.
notes?
I think we
I'd
went
like
over
to
the top.
point out one little thing before we go.
Oh, yeah, go
Something that I saw last night that I thought was interesting, that I hadn't seen Billy do very much last season. Schroeder, they took Diallo out. He left. Everybody was clapping, whatever. They brought. I can't remember who they brought in for him. Schroeder then shoots a terrible shot. I think he airballs it. He immediately takes Schroeder out of the game and then puts Diallo back in the game.
That's true.
And I had not ever seen him do that. And I thought that was really awesome that he did that.
So Jacob is drawing for Justin.
All right, we got basket of balls here. We're on a redraw. Hold on, don't look.
Whoa!
Bro.
Breaking the rules.
I've never played this. I don't.
Hey,
really
all right,
totally
hands
so
off.
here's the standings. Justin's 3-0 because he had the Red Sox, so he's
Damn it.
3-0. Jason is 2-1 with the Warriors. I was 1-1 with the Grizzlies. Rob is 0-3 because he had the Cavs.
Hey, remember?
You son of a bitch. Hey, so after he draws for Justin, I'm going to send Justin a message, and he's going to
Gotta
say
put-
if he wants to keep it or not.
Okay.
Okay, you got to put the glove on.
Yeah.
The hell?
You have to wear
What
the
did he
glove.
say? He said in the middle, 75%
Yeah,
deep.
yeah.
Pull
Yeah,
towards
make
you.
sure you get
Yeah.
that right. He's particular.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is ridiculous.
Also, he's
All
going to
right.
blame you because he's
Oh, he
not had a loss
definitely
yet. What you got?
The
Portland?
Trailblazers.
Ooh, that's a pretty good pick. That's gonna be hard to put back.
Ooh, yeah, that's an
I mean,
iffy one.
You can look at their schedule, but that takes
nah,
time.
he doesn't need to.
We ain't got that kind of time around here.
I don't know. You want to go ahead and just draw, and if he wants to, we can put it back?
It's Jason's draw.
Give me that glove, bro.
Yeah, you gotta have the glove.
Oh, wait.
He just said, nah.
Oh, you
What?
said-
Which
I don't
one does
know.
that mean?
I don't know if it means
Glove
keep
back
or
on.
give back. All right. It's back in there.
75% deep, mid down, pull towards me.
He's drawn for the Thunder. You know he is.
Lakers.
Lakers.
Oh, glove goes to Jason.
All right.
Give me the glove.
Justin.
So you can only
has-
redraw one
Justin
time.
One
slash
time, yeah.
Jacob
Got
has the Lakers.
The Rondo-less Lakers.
Don't look, Jason. We know how you do.
Oh, shit.
Cavs, they're going back.
Yeah, that's an
Hey,
easy.
hey,
put back.
Justin said keep it.
What?
The Portland one.
I saw it was the Lakers. He
Oh,
said
well, he
that.
got the Lakers. That's
All
probably
right.
better, anyways.
The
Maybe.
Suns, I guess.
Oh!
Give me the glove.
You coming
It's my
back?
glove.
The Suns.
Can
Yeah,
someone
you
shake,
screwed.
someone shake that up?
Can you
for
shake it, Jacob? Shake it like a Polaroid picture. That's not how you shake a Polaroid
That's
picture.
yeah, that's
me?
incorrect.
I had
That's what
one,
you're-
I lost it.
Yeah, that glove's kind of hard to use.
Oh, that's a weird one.
Whole month, whatever I draw, I have to have for the whole month.
Oh, come on.
Oh my.
Wait,
on.
so is it you get one pick right here?
One
Yeah.
pick.
Okay. Come on.
Wait, or should I get two? Because I haven't had an opportunity to put one.
Nah, I
back.
think you get one pick.
Only one here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's in the rules we just
vote-
made
I
up.
think
That
so.
seems you guys
It's
are
in the
just
rules we just made
screwing
up.
me.
No, I don't think so.
Also,
It could
I'm
be
gonna
really
steal
good for
it.
you.
I'm probably gonna steal it anyway. So.
Guys, I have to get, but this is for the whole month. Like,
no.
shouldn't I?
Yeah, it could be really
I'm
good.
so
What if
happy
you get the
right-
Warriors?
Yeah, but
You're-
then I wouldn't put it back.
Hey, it's one. It's one pick. You get one.
This is. I'm already kind of screwed with
Nah, you're in a good spot.
You're right. Oh God, it's another one.
winless week.
Oh!
No way. So I automatically lose.
It's fun.
I automatically lose the month. I don't get to put that back.
Okay, put it back.
Alright.
Put it back.
If I draw that again,
Then you have to give it to me.
all right. The rules have been
Wait,
established.
what was that?
This is fair.
Ooh.
Because this is
Mr. The
normal
Wash
This is-
asked if the Lakers ball had some spit on it. Ah?
Oh, I get it.
Knicks.
Ooh.
No,
Oh
dude.
man.
Candace,
Alright.
It's
Candace
like you
got
drew
your
the
back.
same ball twice, kind of.
Kind of. That's a good call. Well, I'm stuck with him forever.
Yeah, so long.
Sheesh.
You regret putting that ball in there right before we
Yeah,
started?
I do. Really.
Ooh, wearing the cowboy hat.
Hey, don't
Hold
look
on,
Hey,
at
don't look
House.
in there, Sheriff.
cheater.
Ooh, the Timberwolves.
Oh, do
That's
they
not a
have
bad
Timmy or
one.
do they
I mean,
not? Yeah.
I think you
Seems
gotta
like
keep
he's
it.
staying.
I'm gonna keep it.
All right. So to recap, Justin's got the Lakers. Justin slash Jacob, they're on a team this week.
Got
Jason,
the Phoenix Suns here.
Jason's got the Phoenix Suns. I have the Knicks for the entire rest of the month.
What
So
if they're
I'm-
really good all of a sudden?
I'm not in good shape here because I'm already 1-1, and Rob over here has the Timberwolves.
At least
Come
you're not
on,
like
Devin
Jim
Booker.
Dolan and you don't have the Knicks for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Hey.
Good call. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. What do we have? Thunder versus Celtics hosting. Hey, we got three more games at home
Is
here.
that on Thursday?
It's on Thursday. Rob and I will be back for an Aftershock. Ooh, nice. I think you made that. Rob and I will be back for an
Did
Aftershock
not make that.
after that game. And then we have another pod. I don't know, man. I really don't know the schedule. I should know it. Thunder play against Sunday.
Yeah.
Against the Clippers, I think. And then
Pod
we pod
Monday.
again next Monday. So Aftershock Thursday, pod Monday. Till then, and as always, Thunder up.
Just do that.